It's Thursday, August 20th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Concerns today that Barbados' welfare system could be at risk as a result of high unemployment. It's coming from head of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Edward Clark, who has issued a plea for workers and employers to adapt to the current changing environment created by the Covid-19 pandemic or face extinction. At the same time, Clark has hinted at continued downsizing of businesses as commerce continues to shrink in the ongoing economic challenges.
The number of unemployed persons at the end of June was probably around 30,000 people. In this small economy, that's a significant number of people to be unemployed. It is not sustainable. We can see what will happen with the social, economic fallout. The welfare of the country is at risk. We have to do something to get this problem resolved. Whether it is government, labor, or business, we must all put our heads together and find ways to improve the situation in Barbados. As a result of the downturn, there has been without doubt a downturn in business activity across all sectors. And there continues to be a real prospect of continued downsizing of businesses in the private sector, as many operators are currently striving for survival.
The BPSA chairman also suggested that the post-COVID focus for training and retooling should be on problem-solving, innovation, and service excellence skills.
COVID-19 has reinforced the importance of training and retooling, the areas of improving workforce efficiency, embracing and utilizing technology, and reinforcing safety and health practices across all sectors of the business community. Business continuity planning has also come to the forefront and cannot be accomplished without a strong and focused team approach. We must all be prepared at all sectors of the business sector. Employees must be able to quickly adapt to changing circumstances. At various levels of the organization, persons must be equipped with not just one skill, but a set of skills.
Strict protocols at the ports of entry and continuous wide-scale testing have significantly lowered the chances of a second wave of COVID-19 crippling Barbados. The suggestion from the chair of the University of the West Indies COVID-19 Task Force, Professor Clive Landis, who has, however, not ruled out the possibility of small outbreaks in the future. Professor Landis described Barbados as having some of the strictest entry protocols anywhere in the world and expressed confidence that authorities will continue to manage the situation carefully.
Now, clearly, the vast majority of all of our cases are being found at the airport or in the quarantine centres, which is where you want to find them. Now, it is theoretically possible that someone can be missed, and you want to have as much testing as possible. And the testing, which is approaching 15,000 for the size of our population, is considered an international benchmark. And as long as we maintain and even further upscale our testing capacity, I believe that we will be able to detect any nascent outbreaks which might happen. And to some extent, you do expect in an epidemic like this that there will be clusters, but that doesn't mean to say that you can't handle it. And there have been a lot of successful countries like Taiwan and Iceland and Singapore. They're not COVID free, but they're managing whatever cluster outbreaks might happen, and they're maintaining containment. And I'm very confident that Barbados can do the same.
Some private school principals, touted for their success in the 11+ exams, declared that there is no secret formula for their results. In interviews with Barbados Today after the results were released on Tuesday, Principal of the St. Cyprian's Boys, Dave Lane, and Principal of the St. Gabriel's School, Angela Blackett, hailed the dedication of their staff and students for the achievements in this year's exams.
Discipline and hard work, commitment from the staff, working together with the parents. I believe you get out what you put in. All right, we put in a lot of work, right? Seeing the results.
We're absolutely ecstatic and overwhelmed. We're delighted and very, very happy for Ayobami and her family. It's been a notable achievement this year because of all the changes and the disruptions that the children have undergone. So despite all of that, her having done so well in the exam, we're extremely happy.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, Tropical Depression number 13 formed over the central tropical Atlantic last night, about 1,035 miles east-southeast of the northern Leeward Islands. A tropical storm watch is now in effect for Sabre and St. Eustatius. According to the National Hurricane Center, the depression is moving towards the west-northwest near 20 miles per hour, and this motion is expected to continue for the next few days. On the forecast track, the depression is expected to move near or north of the northern Leeward Islands by late Friday and near or north of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico on Saturday. Over in St. Lucia, a police officer has found himself on the wrong side of the law and is now facing a murder charge for the 2018 death of a 22-year-old man. More in this report from HTS News Force.
According to President of the Police Welfare Association, Travis Chico, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force remains a close-knit organization for the law enforcement community. He says, though the morale of the men and women has been wounded by the announcement, the association will continue to provide much-needed support.
I'm sure this one is going to be one of the nails in our coffin as we deal with it. A young, promising police officer. No issues of discipline, no serious issues with him, and he was on duty, and it makes it even a lot more difficult for us as an association, and this is one of the challenges that we will continue to have as we move on.
An air of sadness hung over the men and women of the force who gathered on Upper Bridge Street to show support for their colleague. Acting Commissioner of Police Milton Daisy, who knows the accused personally, cautions law enforcement officials to be mindful of every action taken in the execution of their duties.
We have an officer responding to duty who is now charged for murder. As I've said before, that persons in responding to situations, officers that is, in responding to situations, you have to ensure that any action that you take, you will be able to justify that action. That is the essence of it. And I am hoping that this officer will be able to justify the action that he took on the day.
And finally, on the international front, Senator Kamala Harris makes history as the first Black Asian American vice presidential candidate on a major U.S. presidential ticket. She formally accepted the Democrats' nomination on day 3 of the party's convention.
I accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States of America. In this election, we have a chance to change the course of history. We're all in this fight. You, me, and Joe, together. What an awesome responsibility. What an awesome privilege. So let's fight with conviction. Let's fight with hope. Let's fight with confidence in ourselves and a commitment to each other, to the America we know is possible, the America we love.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.